It's a terrible football show, all right?
I want whatever you guys are smoking right now.
Come on, Shane. OH. OH.
Oh, baby,
go.
yeah! Shane, I swear to God.
Welcome to a terrible football show.
That's my quarterback and my teammate, man.
Ruins my fucking holiday every damn year.
Alex,
What up?
you could thoroughly kiss my ass.
Why not let us decide the top four?
Yeah, let a terrible football show
Let a terrible
decide the top
football
four.
show.
Fuck you, Shane.
Roll Tide. Have a good one, guys.
Oh,
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, he's got to go. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
I like that Baker Mayfield to myself, man. He was baking it up there in the Browns, and it just turned into a big old shit pile. So,
Get that right. I will fly you out and take you to a game in Dallas of your fucking choice.
Oh, shit. Yeah, he's successful at just giving his terrible opinions, so why can't I? It's a terrible football show after all. Welcome to Terrible Football Show, episode Steve Smith. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day today, whatever day you're watching or listening to this podcast episode. I got Ricky here with me over Discord. Ricky, how you doing? How you feeling on this wonderful Tuesday?
it is a wonderful Tuesday. It's been, dragging off from vacation and coming
Yeah.
back to work today.
Yep.
Finally, that's that whole ordeal. And
Yep.
of course, they still owe me a day off. Long story short, whenever you take a vacation during a holiday, you technically get an extra day off. So I'm taking that extra day tomorrow. I'm not going to be off, but I've got to take care of a few things, and I've got to officiate a couple of junior high games in a tournament tomorrow. But yeah, other than that, had a great Christmas. It was a great Christmas break. Refreshed. I'm back, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm currently on vacation now, and I'm dreading going back to work next week. I am dreading it. I was thinking about it. I was like, dude, my vacation is going by so damn quickly, and it pains me. It's already Tuesday. I mean, God. But no, I totally feel you. It's a wonderful Tuesday, though. But you know what? Next week, it's going to be a wonderful Thursday when we do the podcast. So, yeah, just a friendly heads up to everyone listening, whether if you listen to the audio version, you catch us live, watch the video after the fact, whatever the case, however you digest this trash can of a show. Next week and for the whole month of January, we will be doing it on Wednesdays. Sometime after January, we'll be back on Tuesdays. Just listen to the show. We'll tell you when. It is what it is. So, yeah, and the shows could be on a more strict time-based schedule. You might see shows wrap up at like an hour or so. Just depends. We'll see. But yeah, Wednesdays will be the plan for the next month. I'm excited for it. Ricky's excited for it. We'll have a great time. We have a lot of playoff football going on across the board, whether it be college football playoffs. First games kick off on Monday. Was it Monday last year, or am I high as shit on that? I thought it was the weekend last year. I swear I thought it was Saturday, Sunday last year. Yeah, I think that both games are on Monday.
I think last year was Sunday. it was Sunday.
I think they're on Monday this year, and I thought that was so weird.
They are. It's New Year's Day is usually when New Year's Day is when they usually do it.
Okay, well, I guess it's just because of when it fell. Either way, we got college football playoffs.
I'd have to look and see because
I got it. I'll pull it up.
Well, for some reason, I thought they did New Year's Eve last year.
Let me pull it up real quick because I noticed that. So let's see. Yeah, Monday. Both playoff games are Monday. So I just thought that was weird. One's at 4:00, one's at 7:45. So I don't know. Whatever. Either way, we got college football playoffs. We have NFL playoffs shaping up. Some big games this weekend. Some possible Super Bowl favorites came out of this weekend, in my opinion. Going to dive into that. There's a lot to talk about in the world of the NFL. It's going to be a great time. But what else is a great time is if you check out some Rogue Energy with the referral link down below, promo code Sparky3, you can get 10% off. You can also go down to Agent Inc. and buy a jersey, but not this jersey because this is a Minshew Mania jersey, but you can buy one of our jerseys that has a trash can on it, and that's cool, and you should have a trash can on your chest as well. And join the Discord. You can come chat with us. But anyway, so yeah, big episode today, boys, because we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff going on in the world of football because, I mean, NFL, man, is winding down. It's just this is the best and the worst time of the year because football's coming to a close, but it means we got some great football to watch, but football's coming to a close, and that sucks. But we do have some good football to talk about. You know, we had the Dolphins Cowboys this weekend. Sorry, Ricky, we'll get into it. You know, we had the Ravens Niners last night. That was oh my God, a domination. We're gonna chat about that. The Chiefs, are they dead? Oh man, losing the Raiders. I mean, I like this Raiders team by Antonio Pierce. It's got a lot of heart, but man,
Twice.
yeah, twice. Jeez Louise. And, you know, for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career, has been eliminated from having the potential to have that first seed spot where he's going to have to play on a road playoff game for the first time in his career is what I meant to say. So, I mean, that's going to be a first for him. We'll see how he does on the road in the playoffs. You know, shout out to the Lions. Big win there, baby. NFC North champions for the first time in history. Yes, history, because NFC North's only been around since like 2002. So there is a lot to talk about. And I figured let's just go ahead and dive right in. All right. So coming out of this weekend, Ricky, you know, unfortunately your Cowboys lost to the Dolphins, but at least it was close. At least you didn't get embarrassed on national TV like the 49ers did last night. So you got a little bit to be happy of in that regard. But Dolphins beat the Cowboys. Ravens handle the 49ers. In your mind, seeing this, because Dallas and San Fran, and then we're kind of the Eagles, those three, they were the ones that were looking like the NFC favorites. A lot of people would just argue San Fran and Dallas with how inconsistent Philly has been. With them being with them being beat and just destroyed this weekend, respectively, does that really put it in your mind? Do you feel like the Ravens and the Dolphins are potentially the Super Bowl favorites at this point? I mean, they're also playing this weekend. Huge game this weekend.
Well, they're also in the same. They're also both in the AFC.
I know, but like, are they the favorites in your mind? You know, across the board, like it's going to be one of these two?
No. Baltimore, yes. Miami, no.
Miami, no. Okay.
I think so here's something, Alex, that and this is the same thing that everyone's been saying about the Cowboys. But right now, as far as records goes, this is the first team Miami's beat all year with the record that was at that time where the team was above above a 500 record, and the Cowboys only had one, which was Philly. Which, don't get me wrong, Philly was a great win.
Yep.
One thing with Dallas though, that's going to be very, very hard for them. If they were to clinch that number one spot, which they still could, you know, there's three teams right now. There's three or four teams right now that can still have that number one spot, and that's you know, they're in the mix still. If they could get home advantage, they would have a very good chance, because this year, the last couple of seasons, if you want to put it that way, they haven't lost very much at home. They struggle on the road. That's their biggest thing, is they struggle on the road. One of the things this past week, especially against the Dolphins, the defense really did not show up that well. Miami had a great game plan for Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons did not get to Tua very much. I mean, you could say offensively that Dallas could have passed the ball a little bit better. You give me all kinds of stuff. You know, it's the NFL. But at the same time, when it comes to that needy and that grind and everything like that, you know, Dallas still has to show that they're ready to, you know, go up against anybody, and they're able to win those big games. But it's like I said last week, I'm not as worried about it right now, because they've already clinched a playoff spot.
True.
They're not going anywhere. You know, they're still going to be a big threat in the playoffs. Now, am I going to say that Miami is eliminated from it? No, because Miami does have still the best wide receiver right now in football. That's Tyreek Hill, still the best receiver in football.
Facts.
And until somebody could sit and prove until somebody could sit and prove to me that they can guard him consistently throughout an entire football game, you know, he's still going to be the best wide receiver in football. Baltimore right now, if you could argue right now that Baltimore right now is the best team in football, yes, they picked off Brock Purdy 4 times. Yes, that was probably the worst game Brock Purdy has had in his entire career so far. And but yes, out of those two, Baltimore's still the favorite. I'm still not going to buy into Miami just yet, because I think defensively they have a lot of issues. I know Jalen Ramsey closed in on some of those issues.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they can maintain that consistency like we've seen Baltimore over this entire year.
Now, if Miami beats Baltimore this weekend, your opinion changes on that? Because in my opinion, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it will, because
that's a big game this weekend.
It is a big game this weekend because, like I said before, this would give Miami so much momentum going into the playoffs.
Yep.
For the simple fact is that now not only have you beat one good team, you're going to beat an even better team in Baltimore right now. And Lamar Jackson, I think right now, if he's not the front runner for MVP, he should be. And I think that win last night proved wholeheartedly how much of an impact he's made this year. Because this is basically a comeback year for him. We haven't seen him be this level in a very long time. And a lot of people, including myself, doubted whether or not they were even going to win. I knew they would compete. Didn't know if they were going to win the division. But just him as a leader has been able to prove that Baltimore's back. They're not going anywhere. So it's just, and I think it's good for football too. And so we'll see. And then of course you've got some of these mediocre teams. Like the Buffalo Bills, who are probably going to make the playoffs now. When I said they weren't going to, you can't sleep on Buffalo. I know this sounds crazy.
What a question mark of a team.
But I'm telling you, it's been one of the craziest football seasons I've ever seen in my entire life. It really has been. I know it's professional football. That nothing should surprise me, but it's been a very crazy year for football this year. Would not surprise me one bit. Wouldn't surprise me one bit if we see a 6 seed because right now if we go by let's say we went by today's standings, wouldn't surprise me if the Buffalo Bills made it to the AFC Championship game. And then of all things, the Cleveland Browns are going to possibly be in the playoffs.
No,
and they don't even have the best player right now.
Look, at this point, it ain't even possibly, man. I mean, in my mind, I'm looking at the AFC standings. I mean, we only have 2 playoff spots clinched with Baltimore and Miami. They haven't won their divisions, but they're clinched. I mean, you still have, 5 spots left, and Cleveland's setting at a 10-5 record. I think even if they lose out, I think they can still get a clinched. You know what I mean? The thing is, Cleveland can potentially be the number 1 seed in the AFC. It probably won't happen, but it's actually possible. I mean, it's
possible.
As silly as it is possible, man. This has been a wild season because, to top all that off, Bears are technically not even eliminated from the playoffs. As dumb as that is, they can still make the playoffs, which is so stupid.
I'm telling you, this is it's so crazy. Because right now, let's see, you've got Indy, Houston, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati, who are all 8-7. This weekend, that Cincinnati game at Kansas City is going to be a very, very important game. And I had the possibility of going to that game, and I'm kind of sad about it. But it's okay. We live to fight another day. So, anyways, so that right there is going to be a very, very important game. Not only it's going to be, to me, it's going to be more important for Cincinnati because I still think Kansas City is going to win the division regardless of what happens the rest of the way. Because I think Vegas is second right now at 7-8 in their division. But unless Vegas wins out and Kansas City loses out, Kansas City is going to be, Kansas City is still going to be, they're still going to win that division. They're still going to clinch that playoff spot and win that division unless they, like I said, I think Vegas has to win out though. And I think obviously if Vegas wins out, they're going to be division winners because they've beaten Kansas City twice. Mm-hmm. Denver could still possibly make it. I don't know if it's going to happen.
I think that.
Let me look at their schedule.
I think their chances got hurt this weekend because didn't they lose this weekend?
It did.
Yeah,
they lost. To New England.
They're back to they lost to New England. Losing to the Lions, I get that one, but losing to the Patriots, I mean, in my opinion, that alone kind of killed your chances. I mean, they got an uphill battle.
And they lost it at home, but they do play. They play the Chargers, who are just as bad as they are, and they go to Vegas. But Vegas is also right now playing very good football. So for them, it's I don't know. It's going to be hand in hand if they can even make the playoffs. If I'm a betting man right now, I hate to tell you this, man, I think Jacksonville's done.
Oh yeah, they're done. Look, four game losing streak. They have been inconsistent this entire time. They've been inconsistent, in my opinion, all season long, even with the 5-game winning streak they went on. And there's just been too much inconsistency. In my mind, Jacksonville's done. And in my mind, Minshew Mania and the Colts or CJ Stroud and the Texans, whenever he clears concussion protocol, they are winning the AFC South.
They play each other January the 7th at Indianapolis. That could be the playoff clincher as well as division clincher for a game. Who does Indy play this weekend?
So wait, Indy and Houston play weeks
January 7th. That's 2 weeks.
Can
week
we
7,
just
very last
take?
week.
Can we just take a minute to really process what a year's difference can do? A year ago, this was potentially a battle for the number 1 overall pick, and now they're battling for the division. Think about this.
Craziest, I'm telling you. And then the Cleveland Browns. I'm telling you, it's the craziest year of football I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Hey, listen.
Ever.
Hey, Big Dick Joe, baby. Hey, if he gets hot in the playoffs and we see that 2012 Joe Flacco, Cleveland Browns may be hosting the Lombardi, baby. Hey, look, to this day, that run that he went in the playoffs is still one of the best playoff runs by a quarterback in NFL history. If Joe Flacco can get hot in the playoffs, watch out. The Browns can potentially go to the Super Bowl.
But here's the thing: that Indianapolis does play Vegas this week, so that's definitely an important. And their last 2 games are at home.
Yeah.
And so if you look at their home record this year, I don't think they've lost 1 game at home this year. Let me look here. No, they lost to the Browns. They lost to the Browns at home, and they've lost 3 home games, but they were the good teams. So but like I said, Vegas playing their best football right now. It's going to be very, very, very imperative they win this game this weekend, because I think Houston's going to beat Tennessee with or without CJ Stroud. They're going to beat Tennessee this weekend. So yeah, next weekend, I think regardless, you're looking at a game possibly who's going to clinch the division.
I know.
And it's so funny though. What a year's like you said, what a year's difference can make, just like that. And we could be talking about Garner Minshew in the playoffs.
Hell
It's
yeah,
like,
brother.
what?
Minshew mania ready to run wild.
Oh man, and I hope it happens for him. I really do. But here's the thing: the NFC in some ways is just as interesting. The Los Angeles Rams, who a ton of people counted out, them and Seattle are both, like, right now they're both in, and I think they need 1 game, and they need Minnesota, Atlanta, and Green Bay to all lose, and then they both clinch.
Hey,
Like there would be no other way for anybody to catch up with them, and there's a possibility of that. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons have a chance to make the playoffs still. That's terrible.
that's also because their division's terrible. I personally think Tampa's going to lock that thing up, man. Baker Mayfield's been playing exceptional these past few weeks, and I see it continuing. But to also tag up on the Rams, man, I got to say, watch out. Like, look, when all of their key players are on the field at the same time, man, I saw some stupid statistic where it's like when Stafford, Kupp, Williams, Puka, when they're all in the field together, they are like first in the league in multiple offensive categories. Like, dude,
I'm telling you, man.
Watch out.
I'm telling you, the playoffs, to me right now, and I know that we've seen a high consistency from Baltimore for the most part. When San Francisco's been healthy, we've seen them be very, very consistent. But Alex, I'm telling you, there is that possibility. I'm telling you, a 6 or a 7 seed could possibly run the table and go to the Super Bowl this year.
I 100% agree. I mean, let's look at the Rams, man. They've completed their last home game. They're going to the Giants. They should win that game. You never know with Danny DeVito up there. They could sneak a win, but I'm going to give it to the Rams. And then going to San Francisco, I mean, that could be their playoff clincher if they beat San Fran. I mean that would
Who
be
does Seattle
it.
play this weekend?
Let me grab that real quick. Seattle is also the big question here. Seattle has the Steelers and the Cardinals, so they have a much easier path in my opinion. Hey, Mason Rudolph played well this past weekend, and he's starting again.
Yeah, and there's the thing: the Steelers have not played well on the road at all.
Yeah. I will say, because I'm just going through schedules here, going back to Jacksonville, man, unless they just completely lay an egg, they do have an easy road to the division championship because they're 4-1 in the division when Indy and Houston are not. They both have 2 losses apiece. and Jacksonville is playing Carolina and then finishing the year against Tennessee. So if Tennessee can pull off a miracle and beat Jacksonville, then it opens the door for Indianapolis or Houston to win the division. But I mean, since everything's done between Jacksonville and Houston and Indy, those games are played, Jacksonville's got a one-way ticket to the AFC South Championship as long as they can win against a shitty Carolina team and beat a struggling Titans team, which in theory, on paper, the Jacksonville Jaguars should, but will they? Oh, buddy, that's the question. So I mean, like,
Don't hold your breath.
Exactly, don't hold your breath. I mean, top to bottom, man, you do have such a wild scheduling because, like, going back to even the Browns, their 10-5 record. They got the Jets, should win, and they've got the Bengals, should win. I mean, Cleveland could be finishing 12-5. Like, that's like, who would have thought that, especially without their best player?
Cleveland Browns, 12-5.
Hey, and let's not disrespect one of the GOATs of the league. They're missing two of their best players. Remember, Nick Chubb got injured very early in the year. I mean, they're running two men down. I mean, like, Cleveland Browns, man, they are our squad right now.
I'm telling you, one of the weirdest things, the Cleveland Browns are about to make the playoffs.
Yep.
The Detroit Lions won their division for the first time since 1993.
Yep.
And I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, one of the weirdest football, which I said at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I said it for college football, and I kind of felt it more toward the NFL. One of the weirdest football seasons I think I've ever seen in my life. And the playoffs are not going to surprise me one bit. I'm telling you, a 6 or a 7 seed could easily sneak in for an AFC NFC championship game and possibly the Super Bowl, especially the Rams and the Buffalo Bills. I'm telling you, something's different about this year.
No, I agree 100%. Because one thing that's very different about this year that we are very used to seeing is we're used to seeing, every once in a while a little bump in the road, but pure dominance from the Kansas City Chiefs. Are the Kansas City Chiefs dead? I mean, looking at their schedule, they should in theory win out, against the Bengals and the Chargers, make the playoffs and stuff. That's great. But like, even if they do win out, if they continue to struggle and win out, do you see them having any chance of making it to even the AFC Championship? Like, I mean, this seems like just a team that is off their game.
So if the playoffs were to start today, let me look at the conference standings one more time. So the 1 seed gets a bye, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6. Buffalo at home. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
I really don't. I don't want to say let's don't count out Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got to stop turning the ball over. Plain and simple.
I will say his receivers are killing him. I will also say that.
I'll give him that much, but at the same time, like I said, I remember last year when Dak threw, I think, 15, 16 interceptions, something like that.
Yeah.
There was no mercy given to any quarterback who does that, like, ever.
Yep.
Like, there's just not, especially when you get past that 10 mark, which there's a lot of them that's been past the 10 mark this year. Right now, Patrick Mahomes has 14 interceptions on the season so far. That is the third most in the NFL right now, under Sam Howell and Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is we're starting to see more improvement with Josh Allen. We're not seeing that with Patrick Mahomes. We're seeing more improvement. We're seeing a peak from the Bills when we should be seeing a peak. We haven't seen that peak from Kansas City. Kansas City's 3-5 in their last 8 games. 3-5 in their last 8 games. Let's see here. He's been sacked 25 times. Not terrible. Or at least not completely terrible. He still has a decent QBR rating. He still has one of the highest QBR ratings. But he's got to stop turning the ball over. And there's just something about their offense. And like I said, I know he doesn't have the receivers, that he's used to having. He's used to just being able to chunk it and one of the receivers making a play. We haven't seen that. But one of the things I think Kansas City needs to do, they need to start being more accountable for themselves.
Yep.
Instead of calling out officials, calling out whoever, They got to have some accountability for themselves. That's just one thing they haven't done so far this year. I'm not going to say count them out because that would be stupid. But to be honest with you, Alex, if I were a betting man right now, Kansas City's not getting past the first round.
See, that's how I feel. Like, as their schedule plays out, right? Like I just said, you got the Bengals and you got the Chargers. Two Bengals have kind of been turning it on recently with Jake Browning, and that's great and all. But like, it's still a game that Kansas City should win, and the Chargers have just that poor Chargers team filled with so much talent. I mean, they could they still get the win? Sure, but in theory, those are two games KC should win. KC finished at the 3rd seed in the NFL, but man, it's just like it's tough for me to see them losing the first, getting out of the first round. I mean, I don't want to write them off just like you, but this team has just had so much inconsistency, so many struggles. I also love all the memes online that they're blaming Matt Nagy for it. I think that's hysterical because he's the offensive coordinator and the offensive play caller, so that's hilarious for me as a Bears fan. But man, it's just so much inconsistency. It's tough to see them making it right now, especially when you have a team that we wrote off with the Buffalo Bills, and that out of nowhere, here comes the Bills. Here comes the Bills steaming down the way. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and it's like I said before. Right now we are looking at a team who we're not used to seeing this. If you want to put it, we're not used to seeing them. We're not used to seeing Kansas City struggle so much, especially on the offensive end.
Yep.
Right now, they're only averaging 22 points a game as far as scoring. That's them scoring 22 points with the best quarterback in football, the best tight end in football.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, they don't have the greatest running game in the entire world. Let me look here. Yeah, they only average 101 yards per game rushing, which for NFL, I guess, isn't bad. 253 passing. They can't score, and so when you don't move the ball as well, you don't score as much, and that's not what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing them moving the ball like that. Like there was a time that anytime Kansas City was an offense, chances are they're going to move the ball past half field. The chances are they were going to move the ball past midfield. We're not seeing that as much. We are seeing a lot of drop passes. We're just seeing a lot of, and here's the thing though, Alex. They're struggling against everyone that they've played this year.
Mm-hmm.
They have not had a blowout game yet, I don't think. Let me look at their schedule to make sure.
The Bears.
Okay, the Bears.
41-10. That was it, man. Other than that, they've played it close all year. The Bears was their one blowout.
And we're talking because we started scratching our heads because we really started scratching our heads whenever because we're like, is Denver just this bad or is there something else going there? And they barely beat Denver the first time. They lost to Denver the second time at Denver, which I get it. It's like I said, it's the NFL. It's like, okay, when are they going to start? When are they going to start showing this peak that we know that they can? That they know we know how good they are. They lost at Denver. They lost at home against the Eagles. They lost on the road against the Packers. They lost at home against the Bills, and they've lost to the Raiders twice. And so it's like and even their wins, they struggled against the Patriots. Hats off to the Patriots for finally winning a game. And even their wins, they're struggling. So it's like I don't know what the straight up answer could be for this team, other than yes, we're just so used to them being so dominant. But at the same time, though, it's like there's got to be some accountability going around. You've got a quarterback, best quarterback in football. If there's anybody behind center that I'm going to be like, you know what, he's my guy, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. He's got to stop turning the ball over. You cut away the turnovers. You have more chances to score. And right now, they're just not getting the job done. And it doesn't matter who they're playing. Top, best team in the league against one of the worst teams in the league. They're playing down to their competition. And it's in some cases, it's even worse than their competition.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Is like, again, you got to look at the schedule, man. I mean, you only had one blowout win against a team you should have blown out. And then you played tight with teams that you should have, very handily beat, and then you're losing to teams that you shouldn't lose to. I don't know. This team is weird, man. They're off their game, and I feel like across the board, with the exception of the AFC and maybe like a Baltimore, or Miami, I feel like the entire league is almost wide open. And I really do feel like with the AFC, I think with AFC as well, a 5, 6, or the 7 seed, I feel like they can potentially run the table if you get because like all these teams that are in contention for those later wild card seeds, with the exception of the Steelers and the Bengals. They've had a couple of hot games recently, sure, but for the most part, these teams have been incredibly cold. You're looking at a bunch of very hot teams right now: Indy, Houston, Buffalo, KC, which Cleveland. Those teams are all floating in that kind of range and of being like the wild card, like non-division winner spots. And like they all could very easily run the table for the AFC. And it's the same thing for the NFC side. You have Philly or Dallas, one of those two. I mean, Philly's kind of struggling right now. Dallas, could win the division, could be the Eagles. Either way, one of those two is going to be a wild card spot. Tampa Bay is getting real hot right now. Los Angeles Rams getting real hot right now. So I mean, it's going to be real fascinating to see how these playoffs kind of finish up, and regular season finished up for the playoffs. In fact, it kind of leads me to a question now. Let's do a little predicting. Let's try to predict right now, 2 weeks in advance, what we think the final 7 will be. Okay. All right.
So before we do that, I want to plant something in your head.
Plant it, and water it.
Just imagine in your head right now. Close your eyes and just imagine Super Bowl. The Detroit Lions versus the Cleveland Browns.
What a Super Bowl, baby. It's actually possible. I love it.
It is.
What a time
They're
to be
both good
alive.
teams.
What a time to be alive.
So which one do you do first, AFC or NFC?
Let's do AFC. So I'll start with my general kind of feeling on it because actually, no, let's start with NFC because I seem to have more tabs pulled up around the NFC. I just noticed. My bad. So looking at the NFC, we have, like I said, 4 playoff spots already locked up. We have San Fran, who locked up their division already. Lions locked up their division. Eagles and Cowboys, their division still open to them, but both got playoff spots. Currently, San Fran 1, Philly 2, Lions 3, Cowboys 5, Tampa Bay 4, Rams 6, and the Seahawks are 7, with 4 different 7 and 8 teams looking in, being the Vikings, Falcons, Packers, and Saints, and the Bears somehow not eliminated at a 6 and 9. How I personally see it playing out, looking at San Fran's schedule, I mean, that Rams game, man, Rams are hot at the right time. So that's the one that I'm iffy on. They should win next week, no problem, at Washington. That should be an easy dub for them, right? The Rams, that's going to be the real tough one. It's like, can they overcome the Rams in that game? Because the Rams are just looking real tough at the right time. Honestly, I'm going to give it to the Rams, man. Like, I'm going to give it to the Rams on that one. I think the Rams can finish up that game. And as shitty as this sounds, I think what that's going to mean is I have Philadelphia finishing the season as the number 1 spot because their schedule is too damn easy to not. If the San Fran and the Lions lose once, which San Fran and the Lions could both lose once, Lions could lose to the Cowboys, San Fran could lose to the Rams, Eagles. If they lost to the Cardinals and the Giants, as dysfunctional as they are, they should not do that. So for me, I'm going to lock in Philadelphia, division winner, 1st seed. Sorry, Ricky. Schedule is how it's played out. Give me San Fran at 2. Give me the Lions at 3. Give me Tampa Bay winning the South, so they'd be the 4 seed. Give me Dallas, the 5th seed. At 6th spot, give me the Rams. And then the 7th spot, man, I don't see the Vikings. The Vikings, man, they are just a constant struggle. I see it every single week because my girlfriend's dad is from Minnesota and a big Vikings fan. So I see it every week. They are too damn inconsistent, man. It's tough for me to see any of these teams make it to the playoffs besides the Seahawks. I mean, I think as the seeding goes, I think is the accurate way of seeding, because the Seahawks should win against the Steelers and they should easily beat the Cardinals. So it's tough for me not to see Seattle making it in that 7th spot. So I think that's how I'm going to lock it in. I'm going to lock it in with Philadelphia 1, San Fran 2, Lions 3, Tampa Bay 4, Dallas 5, Rams 6, and the Seahawks 7. That's how I'm going to lock it in.
Yeah, and that's a very good lock in, and I think that's a safe lock in. I think you're right on point with every single one of them. Here's the thing though, and this is the one thing for Tampa Bay, and I know that Baker's playing great football at a great time. He has to beat the Saints this week.
Yep.
If they don't beat the Saints this week, there is still a possibility that Atlanta gets in. The one thing with Atlanta, I think they go on the road 2 more times, and I think that's
Bears and Saints, and I've got the Bears.
But they're still
winning
winnable games.
They are winnable games. I got the Bears winning this weekend.
And so they're still in that, and that could very be possible true, because Atlanta's been terrible on the road. But yeah, I'll lock in what you've got. I think that's very consistent. The only thing that I would possibly change, I don't know. No, yeah. The only thing that I would almost say, I still think San Fran gets that number 1 seed. They do have a harder road, though. You are right about that. That's the only toss-up that I have. The rest of them, I think, are going to be dead on. I don't think Minnesota, even if they do make the playoffs, which I hope they don't, because they're playing garbage football right now.
Horrible.
But you do look that they still have a 5-3 road record, so that does give them some kind of a benefit. Atlanta's too inconsistent. Green Bay's too inconsistent. New Orleans. I would love to see Chicago make it. I would love to see Chicago.
I would and I wouldn't, because you got to. I would love it, because I don't know what I want more. I really don't. Do I want to see Chicago somehow make the playoffs and maybe save Justin Fields' job, but also the downside, saving Matt Eberflus's job, and even worse, Luke Getsy's job, and then going from like an 8th overall pick that we're at now for our pick to like a 19th overall pick? Granted, we still have the first things to carry. There's like, I don't know.
Tank it. Time to tank. Time to tank.
That's my mindset, man. That's time to tank. I don't know, man, because like I really don't want Caleb Williams. I want Justin Fields and continue to build around Fields, like Vontae Mack, no matter what, Marvin Harrison Jr., no matter what. But it's going to be Caleb Williams, and I'm not ready for it.
I'm not either, and I think it's going to be the worst pick in Bears history.
In terms of just like overall hype behind it, could be. I would say right now, I think the worst pick in Bears history is probably either Kevin White or Cade McCown.
That one.
Cade McCown, early 2000s quarterback.
Yeah, I remember McCown. I remember McClown.
Yeah. So those are pretty high up there. In terms of some worse Bears picks. But anyway, let's go to the AFC then. So number 1 seed currently is Baltimore. Miami is currently at 2. They're the only teams with playoff locks. Cleveland is at 5 with a 10-5 record. KC, just because they are the division leader for the AFC West, are setting at number 3 with a 9-6. Then you got Jaguars sitting at the 4 spot with an 8-7. Buffalo sitting there at a 9-6. Indy 8-7. Houston 8-7. Then you still have Pittsburgh and Cincinnati at 8-7. And technically the Raiders and Denver are still in the hunt at 7-8. So in my opinion, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Vegas, Denver, I consider them all out in my mind, just based on schedule of everyone else above them. Okay, is the main reason. Because, so they're starting at the top for the number 1 seed. I got to be honest, after the pure dominance that I saw last night, I think Baltimore will win this weekend against Miami. And I think that, that will clinch them the number 1 spot, and that should obviously clinch them the division. They would put them at a 13-3. I mean, let's see, Baltimore. Then they play the Steelers. I don't think if Baltimore wins this weekend, I don't see how Cleveland can win the division. So that should clinch
They can't.
first. That will clinch the first seed and will clinch the division. So give me Baltimore at 1. Miami. That's the interesting one, right? Let's pull up 2 teams side by side. So we have Buffalo playing the Patriots. Give me the Bills on that one. All right, that's going to put them at a nice 10-6. Miami is going to be an 11-5 at that point, losing to the Ravens. That last game, man, Miami and Buffalo. If Buffalo can get the job done on the road, Buffalo will win the AFC East, and that could potentially put them at the number 2 seed.
And if you remember, Buffalo blew out Miami the first time they played them. And I know the NFL is different, especially because you got to play your division twice. But I'm just saying, keep that in mind. What you just said could very well possibly happen.
Yeah, I know. Who would have thought that? I mean, we wrote Buffalo off completely. For the number 2 seed, let me do some quick fact checking here and make sure that I'm not going to make any mistakes on anything. Actually, you know what? As a shocker as this would be, I think technically this is how it'd play out. For how I kind of see these last couple weeks playing out for the number 2 seed in the AFC, give me the Kansas City Chiefs. I see Kansas City winning out. It's tough for me to see them losing to the Bengals and the Chargers both. Those are going to be tight games though because of how inconsistent the Chiefs have been. But here's what I see. I see the Dolphins losing this weekend to the Ravens. All right. I see the Dolphins losing to the Ravens, and I can see the Buffalo Bills beating the Dolphins as well. The Buffalo Bills would win the division, but here's the thing. Buffalo lost to Kansas City. No, Buffalo beat Kansas City. Never mind.
Buffalo would be the
Yeah, that's right. I messed up completely. I looked at the wrong schedule. So no, Buffalo would be the number 2 seed. That's how I see it playing out. Apologies on my misreading just now. But yeah, give me Buffalo with the number 2 seed, winning out, beating the Patriots and beating the Dolphins. The Dolphins losing to Baltimore. So give me that at number 2. Number 3 seed, give me Kansas City Chiefs because they're going to win the AFC West. Number 4, that AFC South spot, man, it's very tough for me to see Jacksonville losing both of these games. But you know what? With how inconsistent they've been, here's what I've got. You ready? They're going to win against the Panthers. They're going to lose against the Titans. All right, they're going to lose against the Titans, and that's going to open the door for Indianapolis or Houston to win the division because Indy should win this weekend against Vegas. Houston should win this weekend against Tennessee, setting up for a big matchup that last week, of course, which would take place the same time as Jacksonville, Tennessee. And with that, for the AFC South winners, give me Minshew Mania and the Indianapolis Colts, baby. Lock it in. Let's do it. So Indianapolis at the number 4 seed as the AFC South winner. 5th seed, I would say give me the Browns on that one. Give me the Brownies. I see them winning out. They're just going to be, so they would be the highest record at the 5th seed. 6th seed, let's see, that would go to Dolphins. I think let's see, Dolphins would be the
5th seed.
I was gonna say who. Well, I see the Browns winning out, so that'd be a 12-5.
They would both be 12-5.
No. I've got the Dolphins losing out, so the Dolphins would be 6. They would finish the season 11-6.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dolphins get the 6th seed and the 7th seed. Honestly, it could still be Houston who would lose that game, or it could be Jacksonville. I mean, it could be either one. Let's see, the Steelers. I don't see the Steelers making it based on their schedule. They would lose to the Baltimore last week. I think they're going to lose this weekend to the Seahawks. Honestly, you could see Jacksonville or Houston make it in. I mean, as the 7th seed. I don't know what tiebreakers you'd have to go off of to decide who.
Jacksonville owns the tiebreaker over Indianapolis and Houston based on head-to-head.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know who would be that 7th seed then, Houston or Jacksonville. I mean that's who I see it being. I don't see it being again Pittsburgh, Cincy, Vegas, or Denver. I don't see that. So yeah, Baltimore 1, Buffalo 2, Kansas City 3, Indianapolis 4, Cleveland 5, Miami 6, and Jacksonville or Houston at 7. That's mine.
So I'm just going to go ahead and make this easier for you. I think Jacksonville's losing out.
All right, that's easy.
I think they're going to lose out. And I hate to say that because Carolina is so horrible. But I mean, there's nothing right now that just says, you know what, this team might just lose out. Or this team might just win out.
Yeah.
I mean, they could win out. I mean, even with their backup, but they need to hit the reset button. This was a horrible season, especially a season when you could have easily won 12 or 13 games on your schedule. That's what blows my mind. But at the same time, hats off to Indy and Houston for being able to get up. I do agree with you with Baltimore. I think they're going to clinch it overall. I still think Miami gets number 2 spot. I still think they get that 2 spot, even if they split. I don't know if Kansas City could win out. Which did they play each other this year?
Who?
Miami and Kansas City.
Yes.
Yes, Miami lost. So even with their split, that means Kansas City would own the tiebreaker, which means Kansas City could get that 2 spot. So I'll go ahead and say that. So I'll say Baltimore, I'll go Kansas City, and then I'll go Miami. I think they're going to split. I don't think they're gonna lose out to both games. And that's just my opinion. They could lose. They could lose out.
Yeah.
They could easily lose out. So you're looking at Miami or Buffalo switching out there. Of course, which I hate that stupid rule that the division winner has to be. They have to be that 4th seed.
Yep.
If C.J. Stroud was healthy, I would say Houston wins the division. But I don't know if he's coming back. So I will go with you. And I will say the Indianapolis Colts will find a way to get that 4th spot and clinch the division, because right now they still have Houston head to head.
Yep.
And so and they'll have to play each other again. So we'll see. The 5 spot will most likely go to Cleveland. The 6 spot will be Buffalo, and then which that's going to be weird. Cleveland could have 12 wins and be a 5 seed. That's horrible. Anyways. And then that 7th spot, I have no idea. It's like
it could be so many different ways.
I'm just telling you, it just can, because here's the thing: Pittsburgh, they go to Seattle, they go to Pittsburgh. They haven't played well at all on the road this year, but they did again. They've been mostly inconsistent throughout the year, and for whatever reason, this is Mike Tomlin's part of the year where his coaching, for whatever reason, he finds a way to coach them into the playoffs. He always finds a way to get them in.
At the very least, finds a way to have them a winning record.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's hard, but I'm good. I'm gonna say Houston gets that last spot. I think Houston gets that 7th seed.
Man, imagine the turnaround for the Houston Texans, man. Making it into the playoffs after everyone thought they were going to be horrible.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be horrible. I didn't think they were going to win but 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
I didn't think they'd be this good at all.
No, I didn't think so either. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
I was rooting for them. I was rooting for them to lose after them getting rid of Lovie Smith. Why would you get rid of Lovie Smith? I have no idea.
Because he cost them the number 1 pick, which ultimately didn't
That's
matter
fine.
anyway.
It wouldn't have mattered.
It ultimately didn't matter anyway. They
probably had that piece of paper that said C.J. Stroud no matter what.
Yeah, they needed to have it, man. Man, these last couple weeks are going to be very fascinating to watch, man. There are so many different scenarios to play out.
Next week, we'll probably talk about a different scenario.
I know.
Something we did not see coming.
We will, because
It's going to happen.
I mean, next week, of course, will be the last week of the season, man. So I mean, absolutely. Anyway, let's touch on one. Just again, shout out to the Lions. I wanted to further shout that out, winning the NFC North for the first time in the division's history. The last time the Lions won the division was '93, and that was when it was still the NFC Central. And with that, I'm going to use that as a little segue into some college football. You ready?
Yep.
Let me ask you a question, Ricky.
All right.
The last time the Lions won a division, which was 1993, like I just said, off the top of your head, do you happen to know how Michigan did that year? Don't Google it. No cheating.
I'm trying to remember.
1993 Michigan Wolverines. Do you happen to know how they did that year?
They won the championship, didn't they?
They won a bowl game. So yeah, a championship. You can call it a championship. Yeah. Do you know what bowl game they went to?
Did they? Let's see here. I don't remember if the Rose Bowl was still tied in with the Pac-10 back then or not.
It was. They went to the Rose Bowl.
I'll say the Rose Bowl. I don't know who they beat, though.
That's the fascinating thing. The last time the Detroit Lions won the division in 1993, Michigan went to the Rose Bowl and beat the Washington Huskies. The Lions just won the division. Michigan and Washington play in the Rose Bowl on Monday. Will history repeat itself and Michigan win the Rose Bowl?
No, they don't.
Thought they did.
Michigan plays Alabama.
Well, you know where I'm leading with that. You know where
I know where you're leading with it.
You know where
There's
I'm trying to go with that.
There's a possibility that Michigan and Washington could play each other in the championship game.
Yes, that's where I was leading with that, and history repeat itself. So how are you feeling about the playoffs there?
So, one of the things that I did say at the very beginning of the season, besides that, college football and football in general, we're going to have a weird year. One of the things that I did say about Michigan, and I told everybody to look out for Michigan this year. And a lot of that was just because they returned a lot from last year. They were the most experienced team that returned from last year. Michigan has to play Alabama though, and
Alabama is so incredibly hot right now.
And that is the biggest thing that just drives me. It's driven me insane to the point that it's like I want to. My gut says go with Michigan.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you something, Alex. They're gonna have to play way better defense than they played against Ohio State if they want to beat Alabama, because Alabama is peaking. Like you said, they're peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
Ever since that loss to Texas, it's like they're learning lessons each week as they go.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden we start seeing Alabama play just like the Alabama of old. And this is not even a team close. They're not even close to the Alabama of old, but they're finding ways to win. And I still think of all the years Nick Saban's been in Alabama, with all the national championships that he has, this is the best coaching job that he has done for Alabama.
Yep.
I'm still going to stick with my guns. I'm going to stick with Michigan, but like I said, they're going to have to play much better defensively than what they did against Ohio State. They're just going to have to stick that D line. They're going to have to get to Milroe. If they could get to Milroe, I think they've got a very good chance.
Mm-hmm.
They have they were the second or third best in rushing yard defense this year. Alabama lives and dies by the run. And so if you could take that running game away, make Milroe pass, but get that penetration, get that D-line penetration and get him uncomfortable, they've got a very good chance. And I think, and I also understand this, Alex, is that Michigan has not had the playoff success at all. Like we haven't seen them. There's nothing off the top of my head that goes, oh man, they've just had the great playoff success. But this year, name one other team who's lost their coach for about half the season, if not more than half the season, and they've won every football game.
Can't do it.
They have faced so much adversity this year. It's not even funny. And it's a very when a team becomes scary, they're not just playing for your coach, but they're playing for everybody in that locker room, including the assistant coaches. That's when they become even more dangerous. And so I think Michigan learned their lesson from last year. I think they're going to take that experience and learn from it this year. But for them to beat Alabama, they've got to bring it for 4 quarters, for four hard fought quarters. They're going to have to bring it, and somehow, some way, pull off this against Alabama. To me, this first game is going to be their biggest challenge, in my opinion.
I agree. Out of the other game, the other with Texas and Washington, while I think it's going to give them a challenge no matter who makes it, I think this is the big one. If Michigan can beat Bama, Michigan can win the championship. That is my personal take on this. And let me just ask you a question on this, and it's going to very quickly, and then we'll obviously jump back. We're dipping our toe back in the NFL. If Michigan wins a championship, does Jim Harbaugh go back to the NFL? Because some new reports that I failed to mention in our NFL talk is that he's currently the favorite for Los Angeles Chargers job, which is one of the most interesting jobs for a coach this season. You know, if Michigan comes out with a national championship, is Jim Harbaugh going back to the NFL as the Chargers head coach?
I think he's going back regardless. I think he's done. Alex, there's a huge difference when you are in college football. Not only has the Big Ten commissioner lost all integrity with Jim Harbaugh, it's also vice versa. When you lose that faith in a commissioner that's supposed to protect you, because these commissioners. Look, these commissioners are supposed to represent the conference, and I'm going to say this without. No, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The reason Jim Harbaugh was suspended was because of Ohio State. Plain and simple, plain as day. I have this feeling. I don't know this to be 100% sure, guys. I'm going off of what I feel, and usually the way that you see politics, especially when it comes to college sports, there are certain teams, big-time commissioners will protect more than others. Ohio State is that one. I think Ohio State turned him in. I think Ohio State was the entire reason he got suspended. I don't care, because look, the ones that he supposedly got caught with weren't the very good teams.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I think politically the Big Ten protects Ohio State more than they do anybody. And yes, rightfully so, Ohio State, historically right now, as far as I know, they have the most championships. They have the more conference championships. They're at the top of the Big Ten all the time, yada, yada, yada. When you are a college football coach and your own commissioner doesn't stand up against the NCAA, you have an issue. You look up any other conference, the SEC, the ACC, whole 9 yards. Who has stood up for Florida State more than Florida State themselves? The ACC commissioner has. And he would have done it for any other team top to bottom. Now, if Jim Harbaugh broke rules, should he face punishment? Absolutely. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that the Big Ten themselves basically threw nothing against the NCAA. Because usually when something like this comes out, you're going to hear something from the commissioner protecting that conference. The Big Ten commissioner failed to do so with Michigan. I think he's done regardless of Michigan. I think this is it.
Man, I mean, especially if he can win a championship, I personally think this is it. I do agree with you, man. I do. You know, with how things have played out this year, can definitely leave a sour taste in a man's mouth, any person's mouth. But like, I agree with you. And if he wins a championship, in my opinion, 100% gone. If he doesn't win a championship, I think there's still a chance he could stick around as long as Michigan writes him a fat enough check. Because I think what matters to him the most right now is just being taken care of with a fat check, regardless if it's NFL or college. I mean, the reports are that he would rather stay at Michigan. He just wants a fat check. So, I mean, if he wins a championship, it'd be hard for me to believe that Michigan's not going to write him just a massive check to stay. But in my mind, I think if he wins a championship, does the one thing that he really wants to do for his alma mater, you know, the one thing that he's failed to do so far, I think he's gone. Because I mean, it is very tough to see a job opening come up in the NFL with just a stacked roster like the Chargers. When you have your franchise quarterback already under contract, you have two amazing edge rushers with Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. You got Derwin James back there in the secondary, Asante Samuel Jr. You got some receivers you need some work on. I mean, Keenan's getting up in age. Quentin Johnson looks like a damn bust. Mike's fine. If you can work to re-sign Eckler, I mean, you got a great O-line. Rashawn Slater right there at left tackle is a beast. I mean, man, it's tough. That Chargers job is one of the most enticing jobs to come open in years. So, I mean, it'd be hard-pressed for him not to be like, Los Angeles, got a franchise QB. I mean, it's hard not to really want to be in on that one, So, I agree with you. Yeah. I think if he wins a championship, for sure, I think he's gone. And man, that first game, Alabama and Michigan, that is going to be a tough one. Now, on the other side of things, how do you see with Texas and Washington? I mean, do you think Texas has a legit shot? Because Washington, I feel like, yes, Texas has played some good ball this year. They dropped one game to a good Oklahoma team at the time. But Washington, man, just every single time they've needed to step up and deliver, they had a few struggles. We saw that. After that Oregon game, they almost kind of went to sleep a little bit, but they still woke back up. And they once again woke back up in that championship against Oregon. For me, it's tough for me not to get behind this Washington Husky team right now. But, man, it wouldn't shock me if Texas came out with the W.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that that I've also struggled. Like I said, this is probably the most I've ever struggled with the top four as far like last year.
Yeah.
Granted, I didn't think TCU had a chance against Michigan last year. I'll be the first to admit that. But at the same time, my whole thing was nobody was beating Georgia. So that was my whole thing. Nobody's beating Georgia.
Yep.
Something tells me Texas is going to win this game, though, Alex.
I have that sneaking suspicion too.
Something's telling me that Texas is going to get behind Washington to win this game.
I've just had a sneaking gut feeling that Texas is gonna win this game somehow.
Washington has the better offense. Texas has the better defense. Let's just put it that way. They definitely you put them together. Texas definitely does have the better defense. As far as that matchup. So we'll see. I mean, I'm going with Texas just for a gut feeling. I'm going with Texas, and I'm going to say Michigan over Texas in the national championship.
Man, that's going to be an interesting championship to see. Texas and Michigan. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year that Texas could be potentially the one in the national championship?
And I hate to make a pun against my own Cowboys, but at least someone in Texas may have a chance to win a championship.
Big facts. Big facts. In terms of just other bowl games that's taken place, has any bowl games that's taken place, anything shocked you in any of the victories or the L's or anything? And any bowl games besides the college football playoff that you're really looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Missouri and Ohio State.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to that one.
I agree.
I've jumped on Mizzou the entire season.
You have.
Y'all laughed at me.
We did.
Y'all
we
laughed
did.
at
we
me
did.
when I told you guys
know.
Mizzou was going to go 10-2. Y'all laughed at me. But then again, I also said Vanderbilt was going to go 8-4.
Yeah.
Y'all can laugh at me like that all you want. But then again, it's like you in Hawaii. Who's Shane's second favorite team? I can't remember
Oregon.
who. But it's like
Shout
that
to
one
the Bows,
team that
baby.
you can't root.
Shout to the Bows.
It's like right. It's that one team that sucks, but you can't root against. So we're just gonna throw you a few wins here and there. I thought they were gonna improve from last year. I was so wrong. I was so wrong about that. Let's see here. I was kind of shocked South Florida won 45-0 over Syracuse.
Okay, so I was shocked by that too, and then when I dug into a little bit more, it looks like Syracuse's starting quarterback dipped out, and he didn't play.
Yeah, and then of course that player at Eastern Michigan went over a bunch of players from South Alabama. Why do you?
Yeah. God,
it's like how stupid can you be?
And you just got the shit beat out of you too.
Right. But here's the thing though, it's like Ohio State's gonna be without their starting quarterback. Mizzou, as far as I know, is all locked in.
Yeah.
So this could be this could be a big game for Ryan Day, just for the simple fact is, I know he only has one loss this year, but you and I both know Ohio State fans are nuts and insane. All
Yep.
pun intended, Jacob. You are nuts and insane.
Yep.
As far as those go, I don't know if you're going to have a full Arizona-Oklahoma team. I'm still rooting for Arizona because Arizona's been hot at the right time this year. Let's see here. Of course, but Oklahoma's also losing their quarterback to the transfer portal. And that's just the big thing, though, man. Since you have all these you're basically in free agency mode while these bowl games come up. It's starting to mean nothing anymore. And so, but I mean, yeah. Other than that, I mean, if it wasn't for you seeing all these quarterbacks moving and things like that, you'd probably get it. But right now, just per se, Mizzou, Ohio State, I'm looking forward to that one the most. Still looking forward to Georgia, Florida State, even though I think Georgia's going to beat the ever-living crap out of them.
I do too.
This is the time where Florida State can put their money where their mouth is.
Yep. If they can prove to the world that they do have that legit of a defense, because they got a good defense.
Exactly.
And prove to the world that they can play ball no matter who's playing in the backfield or whatever. Now, in terms
even though they're suing the ACC, trying to get out of the ACC, I think that's hilarious.
One game to also that we failed to mention to shout out is, man, just shout out to Northwestern. Who would have thought?
Oh, 14-7.
Who would have thought they would win a bowl game? Who would have thought they would have made it this far with how everything started for this team?
I think I had them winning 2 games all year.
Yeah. I mean, Lord.
They lost their coach. Over that incident.
Yep.
And it's like they didn't miss a beat. They improved.
Yep.
The entire year.
I will also say this, man, going into next year for the ACC, just watch out for Georgia Tech. Watch out for Georgia Tech, man. Like
if they're returning a chunk of their starters, yeah, watch out for them. They're going to be good.
Yeah, I mean they handled UCF, man. Just watch out for them. Arkansas State came up short, unfortunate on that front. For me, some games I'm looking forward to. The game that I'm looking forward to the most, man, for me personally, is going to be Ole Miss Penn State. Because that's a game that I see just being a good game across the board. Yeah. When it comes to Mizzou and Ohio State, man, the big question is who's playing quarterback for the Buckeyes. Is this going to be a good chance potentially for the Buckeyes to see their future QB, because whoever it's going to be, or maybe they just throw a senior in, because I'm looking at their quarterback roster, which I want to shout something out, because this is disgusting behavior, no matter how you write it, okay? This is disgusting behavior, and this alone should make Ryan Day have it. This alone is a fireable offense. He has a sophomore quarterback on his roster, Devin Brown, who will probably never see the field, and that's why he has this number. But he's wearing number 33, and that is disgusting, okay? That is a fireable offense on its own, and that needs to be corrected, okay? But he's got a couple seniors. I don't know if you'd want to put, I don't know if either of these guys have ever had significant playing time. You may just want to throw in your freshmen. You may want to throw in another one of your sophomores. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see is who's going to be this quarterback this weekend for the Buckeyes. And you could see who your guy's going to be for next year. But, man, it's tough for me not to say that Mizzou is about to catch this dub and Ryan Day's seat is going to get a little bit hotter. But no, Ole Miss, Penn State, I'm really looking forward to that one. I think it's going to be a good game. I think both teams are just all the way locked in and ready to play. I think it's going to be possibly one of the best bowl games of the bowl game season. Don't know what to expect out of my Miami bowl game, the Pinstripe Bowl with Rutgers. So I really don't know what to expect out of that team, but either way, I'm interested to see it regardless. Arizona, Oklahoma is another big one, man. I really, really love this quarterback from Arizona. I love him a lot, man. Noah, don't know how to pronounce his last name. Don't want to mess it up. Don't want to mess it up. But either way, freshman QB, man, he's played great.
Didn't he enter the transfer portal?
Noah? I don't think so. I'd be shocked if he did. I know
there was one quarterback. Dylan Gabriel's going to
Oregon. Noah's not in the transfer portal. I don't see any news on that now.
Okay, okay.
No, but
For some reason, I thought he was in
Dylan's
transfer
gone
portal.
though. But I mean, I think Oklahoma's roster is
I'm
deep
thinking.
enough.
I'm thinking of UCLA's quarterback. My bad. I'm
Dante
thinking
Moore,
UCLA's
Dante
quarterback.
Moore is who you're thinking of.
Yeah,
He's
yep.
Dante Moore also going to Oregon with Dylan Gabriel, so that's going to be interesting. I would be
Just
excited for the
absolutely
Oregon
dumb.
State game, and you know what? I think I am still. I think I'm still excited for the Oregon State Notre Dame game. I know DJ Uiagalelei. I mean, I know he entered the transfer portal, but like, let's not forget now for a second that we still have Ben Gulbranson, who started the end half of last year for Oregon State and won a bowl game for Oregon State. So let's not forget that we got him sitting on the roster ready to play. So I think he'll be fine. I know he hasn't had any playing time. Calm down. Relax.
Blow out.
Relax. I can't wait for next week when the Beavs catch the W and I can come follow up on you on that one.
Who are they playing?
Notre Dame.
Blow out.
Relax. Jeez.
Sam Hartman's gonna throw all over them, man. I'm sorry, man. Sam Hartman's gonna if he's playing. Now, if he's not playing, then yeah, you guys got a very good chance.
I think we have a chance no matter what. Go Beavs. It's gonna be a good weekend of football. I'm looking for this. This is where all the good bowl games take place. We're entering the good bowl game weekend. You know, this is gonna be one of the best weekends of football all season long. It's gonna be fantastic. Anyway. So I think we're about ready to hit our predictions. Do you want to throw out any hot takes or anything? You want to throw out any extra fun facts, any extra news bits that you want to shout out? Shout out to Braden Schrager not transferring from Hawaii. So I think Hawaii could be a little bit better next year. So that's pretty interesting.
No, I mean, my Razorbacks may actually look a little bit better than what I thought they would next year. We've gotten a couple of good transfers. We got that. We got one that was I think he was a 4 or 5 star in high school that we got transferred from Georgia. We're getting a decent quarterback out of Boise State, the good one, not the one who's terrible. We got the good one that's coming over. And
then you also got Ledbetter.
Others that we've signed.
Ledbetter, I saw that news.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to actually get a chance to. I don't know if he's actually going to get a chance, to be honest with you. He hasn't played football in I think 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah,
something like that. So I mean,
yep.
I'm happy for the kid. You know, he was undefeated in high school, never lost a game when he was playing at Bryant, never lost a football game. Happy for him. I don't know if he'll ever see the field. If he does, he'll see the field like against UAPB or something like that, but I don't know if he'll ever play a game in the SEC barring injuries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, fair. It's going to be interesting for you guys on that front. You know, I still have, Emory Williams is probably going to be the guy for the Hurricanes. You know, he got injured this year. I think he's just done for the year. I don't think he's available for the bowl game. If he is, that's on me for not following it. But no, I mean, I don't have any other sort of news or anything, any news bits that I can think of. I can't think of any shout outs. You got any hot takes you want to shout out before we get to predictions?
Nothing that I know of. One thing, Minnesota's done. They lost Hawkinson. He torn ACL, MCL. I think that's about all the news there is besides all these stupid transfer portal things. Antonin is leaving he's leaving Florida to go to the Georgia. That'd be funny.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And then Kill stepped down from New Mexico State.
Okay. All right. Well,
so other than that, that's it.
All right. Well, if that's it, I think it's time to hit some predictions. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. Let me get some music going. Let's hit our bowl games first. I am not doing good on these bowl games. Oh, buddy, I'm 6-12.
I was doing just fine. Until Saturday. I hate you, Saturday.
Yeah, I'm struggling to say the least. I'm not having a good time. So let's see. One game is currently in progress, and that's Rice and Texas State. I picked Texas State. They are currently leading, so shout out to that. I also locked in Kansas to beat UNLV. That game is taking place later tonight as well. So going over to Wednesday game, we have Tulane and Virginia Tech. Give me Tulane on this one in the GoBowling.com bowl. The military bowl.
Did you know Virginia Tech's a 10.5-point favorite in this game?
Are they?
Like, it's like something's got to be up. Like,
Yeah.
is there something we're missing here?
There's got to be something wrong.
I mean, there's got to be something we're missing because I'm like, I wouldn't pick Virginia Tech to beat Tulane. You know, if you were the quarterback, I mean, what is the,
Why is Virginia Tech so heavily favored? Is Michael Pratt not playing? Is Tulane starters not playing? Is that why?
It could be. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. I could look that up real quick. Let me look that up.
Why is that such a huge gap? Like, let's see, key matchup, players to watch. Okay, so Michael Pratt is not playing.
Yeah, that's probably why they have Virginia
Yeah,
Tech
because it
so
says
high.
players to watch. Tulane quarterback Kai Horton may play a much bigger role in this game in place of the star passer Michael Pratt. Horton did start a couple games in September, including a loss to Mississippi. The sophomores attempt 60 passes. So I guess Michael Pratt's not playing. That's the bottom line here.
Jerk.
I figured he played. Let me see if there's any news on this. I haven't seen any news on that. Tulane double-digit underdogs after losing its coach. Tulane looks to show its depth. Yeah, I mean, okay, so yeah, it's gonna be just a tough matchup for Tulane. Apparently, I mean, did their head coach take a new job or something? Did I miss that? Did I miss some news on that front?
I mean, they could have. Let me see here. Tulane head coach.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Michael Pratt 100% will not play in the bowl game. That was news from a week ago. And then I am curious. Like, let me look up the head coach. Is he going somewhere else?
Let's see here. Yes, they hired. Let's see here.
Houston. He's going to Houston.
John Sumerall from Troy.
Okay. And Willie was introduced as the Houston Cougars head coach a few weeks ago. So yeah.
So, yeah. I guess change my pick to Virginia Tech.
You know what? Give me Tulane still. Give me Tulane. Let me see that depth. Let me see the depth. Give me Tulane. Let's lock it in. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll lock in Tulane with you.
Let's do it. All right, Duke's Mayo Bowl, West Virginia Mountaineers and the North Carolina Tar Heels. You know what? Here's my hot take. Give me West Virginia, and give me West Virginia embarrassing Drake May leading into the draft.
This is how bad my picks have been. I started off 8-3. I'm now 9-10.
Wow.
I started off 8-3, and now I'm 9-10. I hate the bowls. I can't stand picking bowl games because of all these stupid freaking players who are like, I don't want to play the bowl game.
Yep.
Let's see here. Let me go back here. Yeah, I will also take. I'll take West Virginia as well.
USC and Louisville in the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Give me Louisville in this one.
Yeah, I'll also take Louisville. If I don't know if Caleb Williams and them are playing for USC or not. Honestly, USC should win this game, but they suck too. So
Texas Bowl, Oklahoma State and Texas A&M.
Oklahoma State should win this game pretty easily. I'm not going to say handily, but they should. I mean, Texas A&M doesn't have they don't have a head coach yet. Well, they do have a head coach. I don't know if he's coaching the bowl game or not.
Yeah.
But they're basically going to be showing their depth for the recruiting class that just came in. So, like I said, they could win the game, but I'm going to still stick with Oklahoma State.
Boston College and SMU. Give me the Mustangs, baby.
Yeah, I really like this SMU team.
All right, Miami and Rutgers. Give me Miami. All about the U. Ricky. If you picked Rutgers,
so you're fine.
Okay, I was gonna say if you picked Rutgers, you wouldn't hurt my feelings completely as long as you said it the way that I say it. Put the depth in it, you know. Kansas.
Rutgers.
Yeah, there you go. Rutgers. All right, Kansas State and NC State with the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which I don't know if you saw the trophy. The trophy is sick as shit. Have you seen it? Dude, the trophy's so cool, dude. I love it. I love it. So they have like, like silver Pop-Tarts around the base of the trophy. That's cool. Then they have the trophy leading up where it almost looks like a Lombardi. So it's got the football on the top. And the top is like, it's a shape of a football, but they have like slits in it to imitate a toaster. And they got Pop-Tarts coming out of it. Like, it's so cool. It's one of the coolest trophies I've ever
I need to
seen.
look it up.
It's so cool. Give me NC State, though, man. Kansas State has lost every quarterback in that quarterback room. I don't even know who's playing. They lost.
Yeah,
they lost
I had-
three quarterbacks, including their starter.
I had North Carolina State winning this anyway. Yes, that is a very cool trophy.
I told you, it's so cool. If
that
you
is
haven't
sick.
if you haven't seen the Pop-Tarts Bowl trophy, look it up. It's so cool. Next up, Alamo Bowl.
And if you want to go to Orlando and watch it, you could go watch that game for as low as $24.
You just gotta make your way there. Hey, a beautiful city. Check out the theme parks. Have a great time. What if the wait for the Avatar ride at Animal Kingdom is 2 hours, it's still worth it. Anyway, Alamo Bowl, Oklahoma and Arizona. Give me the Wildcats.
Yeah, well, Arizona should win this game pretty easily, especially with Oklahoma. They've lost quite a bit in the transfer portal.
Kentucky and Clemson. Give me Clemson.
Yeah, I'm surprised Kentucky made a bowl game as terrible as they played.
That was for the Gator Bowl. Next up, we have Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, Notre Dame and the Beavs. Give me the Beavs, baby.
Blow out
I hate you.
Notre Dame.
I hate you. AutoZone Liberty Bowl. So this is a home game, right? Liberty Bowl is in Memphis, right?
Yes.
So this is a home game for the Tigers. Give me the Memphis Tigers at home.
I will also take the Memphis Tigers at home. Even though Iowa State is currently a 10-point favorite, I don't know why. Memphis has played some good football this year.
Cotton Bowl Classic. We got Ohio State and Missouri. Give me Missouri.
I'm taking Missouri as well. I hope that they put a stopping on Ohio State. I hope they pick Ohio State off at least 6 times, and it's in Arlington. So, yeah.
Peach Bowl. Penn State, Ole Miss. Give me Penn State.
I also want to take Penn State, but don't count out Lane Kiffin.
I
That's
agree.
just the one thing you don't do. Don't count him out. But, yeah, I think Penn State's defense is going to be a little bit more for Ole Miss to handle. I'll take Penn State as well.
Music City Bowl, Maryland and Auburn. Give me Maryland.
Yeah, I was debating this one earlier, but yeah, I think Maryland's on a better is on a much better football level this year than what Auburn's been.
Orange Bowl, FSU and Georgia. Give me Georgia.
Massacre blowout right here. Massacre blowout. This will be a worse blowout than the Notre Dame Oregon State game.
Jesus Christ. Arizona Bowl, Wyoming and Toledo. Give me Toledo.
Hey, if you want to go to Arizona to watch Toledo and Wyoming, $15 to get in this ball game.
That's what I'm talking about. Riley Quest Bowl.
I'm taking Toledo.
The Riley Quest Bowl, we got LSU with the very empty feeling Heisman winner and Wisconsin Badgers. Give me LSU and the empty feeling Heisman winner, Jaden Daniels.
I've seen Wisconsin having zero chance of winning this game. This is probably one of the worst bowl matchups.
Next up, we have Oregon and Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl. Give me Oregon.
I'm taking Liberty. I'm taking the upset.
Ooh, that's spicy. I like it. All right. Next up, Citrus Bowl. We got Tennessee and Iowa. Give me Tennessee.
Yeah, Iowa's defense is very, very good. If they had an offense, I'd pick Iowa. Give me Tennessee.
I know. All right, and lastly, college football playoffs. Michigan and Bama, Rose Bowl. Give me the Wolverines beating Alabama.
It's going to be close. I'm going to say by a field goal. I'll say 27-24 Michigan.
Okay. All-State Sugar Bowl, Washington and Texas.
I'm going to take Texas. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to take Texas. I think Texas's defense is going to make Penix. They're going to make him uncomfortable. Give me Texas.
Give me Texas as well, but fuck the Longhorns. Lock it in. All right, let's hop over. Let's hop over to NFL. So Thursday night football, we get the Jets and the Browns. Easy. Give me the Brownies.
There was one that I saw them trying to promote the other day that's going to be on Nickelodeon. Was that this game?
It might have been.
That they're going to play on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, it might have been.
What was the game? Jets,
Jets
Cleveland.
and
Yeah, give me
Browns.
Cleveland.
Yeah. Saturday game, we got the Lions and the Cowboys. Good matchup here. Give me the Lions, but barely. Sorry, Ricky.
I don't think Dallas loses 3 in a row, and they're going at home. They're going to win this game.
Dallas is very good at home. You know what? Let me flip. Give me Dallas. I gotta think about my poll record, not my heart. All right. So next up, Vegas and Indy. Give me Indy.
Yeah, Minshew Mania's got to run wild on this one, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm in Shoemania, baby. Busted out my jersey. Look, man. Look at this. Look at this. Still got the damn tag on it and everything. Goodwill Finds, man. Check out Goodwill Finds every once in a while. You never know what you might come across there, baby. Atlanta and Chicago. Give me the Bears, baby.
There's a reason you found that on Goodwill Finds.
I know. To be fair, I bought it this year. Come on. He's been gone for years now.
The only reason I'm going to say Atlanta is because you need your coach fired. And I think this is going to do it.
I hope so. Carolina and Jacksonville. Give me the Jags.
I'm taking Carolina.
Wow, disrespectful. Okay.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. What? Like, give me one good reason I should pick Jacksonville to beat Carolina.
Because they're not Carolina. New Orleans and Tampa Bay. Give me Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'll also take Tampa Bay. Yeah, this should be a good game, though.
Also, I should remind you on your pick for Atlanta and Chicago, Atlanta did lose to Carolina. Keep that in mind.
And Chicago's lost 9 games. I mean, how else can I? What else can I
fair.
say?
Yeah, Arizona and Philly. Give me Philly. Easy one on that one.
Yeah, they may have lost to Carolina, but Atlanta 7-8, Chicago 6-9. But in all fairness, there are 3 or 4 ball games Chicago should have won and should be in the playoff hunt.
They should.
But thanks to Atlanta winning, your coach is going to get fired, and you're getting Harbaugh next year.
I wish we got Harbaugh, but it sounds like he's going to L.A. Yeah, I'm assuming Philly for you. Obvious pick there.
Yeah. Philly, yeah.
San
Philly,
Fran and Washington. Give me San Fran.
I want to pick the upset, but it's not going to happen.
All right, L.A. and the Giants, the Rams, that is. Give me the Rams.
I will also take the Rams.
New England and Buffalo. Give me the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo.
Tennessee and Houston. Give me the Texans.
C.J. Stroud doesn't play. I'm taking Tennessee. I will say that much.
I agree.
Tennessee played well against Seattle. They should have won the game.
I agree.
They played well enough to win the game. But yeah, if C.J. Stroud does not play, for now he's not playing. From my understanding, I'm sticking with Tennessee.
Next up, where was I? Oh, Miami at Baltimore, which this one I could see getting flexed into Sunday Night Football. I don't think it'll stay at a noon game, but we'll see. Give me Baltimore. It's gonna be a very good game, though.
Yeah, I'll also take Baltimore. Winner of this game could possibly be that number 1 overall seed.
Yep. Pittsburgh and Seattle. Give me Seattle on this one.
I think Mike Tomlin finds a way. I'm telling you, man, I think he finds a way. Give me Pittsburgh.
Mike Tomlin is such a good head coach, man. Cincinnati and KC. Give me KC.
Yeah, I'll take KC. It's going to be close, but whew, KC cannot lose this game.
I know.
They cannot lose this game.
Chargers and Denver. Give me Denver.
Yeah, give me Denver. They're playing at home. Give me Denver.
And Green Bay and Minnesota. Give me Green Bay.
Yeah, Minnesota, I think they're done.
Yep. God, Minnesota played horrible. Has played horrible recently. All right, well, that wraps up our picks for the week. Ricky, you got anything else that you want to shout out to the listeners? If not, I can go ahead and hit the music and get out of here, get you on your way. I can close out the show. You got anything else that you want to shout out to everyone?
Nope. Hit the music. We'll see y'all next time.
All right, and keep in mind, next week, Wednesday, we'll be live around this, probably, what, Ricky, same time? Would it be about 5:30?
We could go earlier if you want to.
I mean, I'm fine with earlier. You just tell me what you want to do.
We can do 5:30. It doesn't matter.
All right, 5:30 range. We'll be live next week on Wednesday. So, Ricky, if you got to go, I'll see you next week, sir. Have a good one. Enjoy your evening. But if you made it all the way to the end, we appreciate the hell out of you. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel or follow the podcast on whatever audio platform you are listening on. And we would greatly appreciate that support, just like we'd appreciate the support if you checked out some Rogue Energy with the referral link down below, promo code Sparky3, to get 10% off your order and support the boys, support the brand, and we would appreciate that. As well as go over to Agent Inc. and pick up a jersey, also with the referral link down below. We have a sick jersey with a trash can on it that I drew in about 2 minutes on Photoshop. You need to buy it. It's so cool. It's 10 out of 10. Join the Discord. Come chat with us. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye. Enjoy a wonderful weekend of football, and Happy New Year.